questions on this recently, so I wanted to address it. So the actual video will be about like why we're so out of shape as a society. Because like I said, I've gotten a lot of questions about this, and it's actually interested me because I'm like, why are all the bad habits, quote unquote, normalized, but all the good habits aren't? Like, what is going on in our society? Like, what kind of society is it if everything that's supposed to be unhealthy is deemed normal and everything that's healthy is deemed weird or different? That means there's obviously an issue. So I'm going to explain in detail exactly why we are out of shape so much as a society today. There's so much obesity, there's so much overweight people, and it's just been running rampant, right? So I would say the first thing is definitely lack of nutritional knowledge. Like we do not learn nutrition in school. Honestly, do not ask me what we learn in school because in high school I had a 4.0 and I didn't learn anything. You can look it up. I had like a 4.3, some shit like that. But anyways, yeah, I didn't learn anything. I honestly didn't. But I definitely didn't learn anything about nutrition. I didn't learn anything about nutrition until I got gastritis and I started doing my own research, learning more about Eastern medicine, and then what I learned through my dad as well. I did not learn any nutritional information in school. Like they don't teach you that you're supposed to eat, healthy. You're supposed to eat this. You're supposed to eat that. If they taught us that in school, and then they gave us like those options in the cafeteria instead of giving us pizza and milk, which is an insane combo, pizza and milk. It's insane. And then in between that, Cheetos, right? Like the vending machines at school aren't good, but they don't really teach you. Like we don't have a nutrition course that teaches you calories, that teaches you trans fats, that teaches you high fructose corn syrup, teaches you all those things like that are bad for you and why they're bad for you. And then it doesn't teach you what's good for you and why they're good for you. You have to literally seek it out in a book. And then if you go to the hospital or something, or if you go to nursing school, they'll teach you that you need to make sure that, of course, you have nutrition, but they'll teach you that you need to make sure that your patients are taking their medications and adhering to their medications. When in reality, most of those medications they wouldn't have to take if they adhere to nutrition. So nutrition, just like not learning about it, is one of the biggest things, right? Like a lot of us just don't have awareness of nutrition, and I didn't either, so I can't even talk, right? And that's why I am talking because like I didn't fucking know anything about nutrition until I literally obsessively read about it to overcome my gastritis. Like I read about that shit, and then I was also like, yeah, everyone who's lean, they eat a certain way, and you have to like learn about that. It's just not the norm. We just don't know anything about nutrition, which is obviously embarrassing. All right, so another thing is advertisement, right? So candies and processed foods are advertised heavily. You rarely see like just like healthy steak and sweet potatoes, or like we have the freshest fruit advertised ever. Right? I've never seen somewhere like, come here, we have the freshest fruit. It's always like we have a sale at McDonald's, or Burger King has 10 nuggets for like 99 cents or something like that. And it's like fake meat. Like that's the only advertisements you see. And you see it constantly. You see it on YouTube. You see it if you go to Yahoo. You see it if you go, log into any email. You see it on your phone. You see it on commercials. 24/7, you're seeing Haribo candy, Trolley gummies. You're seeing Skittles. You're seeing all these unhealthy foods. That's all you see. So when you get hungry, guess what you're going to think of? The only things you see: Snickers, you see KFC. Like that's just what you're going to think of. And then guess what? When you're driving home, you're going to see a KFC and you're like, hey, I saw that on commercial. Let me go there. And you go there because they had some kind of special. And then now you get addicted to it because it's hyper palatable. So advertising is like one of the sneakiest things of all time because like the reason advertising is so interesting is because even if you're not even trying to learn about the shit, if you're trying to watch the NFL football, you're trying to watch NFL football, you're chilling, right? You've never heard of KFC before. Just imagine you never heard of KFC. While you watch that NFL game, 60-minute game, which is gonna take like 4 hours. So because of halftime and all the breaks and stuff like that, you'll probably see like 5 KFC commercials. So the next time you get hungry and you're driving home from work or something, you'll be like, hey, I saw that KFC place. I saw a commercial about it. Let me try it, right? You try it, you get addicted, and you make it a habit. So you weren't even trying to learn about it, and the advertisement. Obviously, that's what advertisement's for. But yeah, it literally gets into your brain with subliminal messaging. All right, social norms. Like I said earlier, it's very normal to be overweight, and if you shame someone for being overweight, then obviously that's not cool and it's very looked down upon. I'm not saying you should shame people for being overweight, but every society in the world knows that being overweight is unhealthy, and the more excess fat you have, the more at risk you are for metabolic syndrome and so many other things, and you feel like shit as well, right? So we should be telling people like, hey, you want to be at a leaner weight just so you can feel better, you can be healthier, you can have more confidence, more mental clarity. We want to give them those reasons instead of saying accept everyone at any weight and it's okay to be super overweight, because when you say it's okay to be super overweight, you're encouraging people to be super overweight, right? And just continue their habits, and then they feel like crap and their health is bad. but they're like, I don't get it. Like my health is bad. I feel like crap. And every time I try to lose weight, people tell me to, it's okay. And then the society says it's okay. And then Lizzo says it's okay. Right. So it's almost like positive reinforcement for bad actions, and that's never gonna end up well, right? So if you told people the truth about why they should lose weight, not just like you have to lose weight, you have to be skinny, like no, 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 we're not saying that. You can be slightly over. I mean, if we're talking BMI, yeah, you can be overweight and healthy. But if we're talking about like excess fat, you could have a little bit of excess fat and be healthy. But if you have a lot of excess fat, now you probably got fat over your organs, visceral fat. You got some insulin resistance. You probably have type 2 diabetes, high cholesterol. You feel like crap 24/7. You're depressed because of it. Like there's a lot of different reasons why it shouldn't be societal norms to be severely overweight. But if you look at the percentages, majority of people are overweight. All right, majority of people are out of shape and overweight. That's why when people see a fit person, they're like, "Holy shit!" Like that person's fit. Like it's rare because majority of people are overweight and obese, and that's what's been normalized, especially with social media. Things spread faster like wildfire. All right, and like I just said, this is basically what I said. The dumbass body positivity movement, bro. Like, listen, of course, love your body in all shapes and sizes. But if you're not taking care of your body, that's usually one of the first signs that you don't prioritize yourself. And the highest form of self love is self discipline and self priority, right? So when you prioritize yourself, that means you love yourself. So if you are treating your body like shit, you're eating like shit, you're literally going to the doctor and they're saying you have high blood pressure, you have type 2 diabetes, you have this, you have that, then that means you don't love yourself because you're not taking care of your body. And that's where love starts. If you don't love yourself, you can't love others, right? So if you say you love others but you don't love yourself, you're lying because you don't love yourself first. You got to take care of the body that you're given because if you don't take care of your body now, you ensure that family members and people you love will take care of your body, will have to take care of you in the future. Because if you don't take care of you, someone else is going to have to take care of you in the future. All right. And with social media, there's been a lot of pushes with like, plus size models and things like that. And it's been weird because it's like, all throughout time, like models have to eat lean and work out and stay lean. And then all of a sudden they have, just random people that are just eating McDonald's and eating crap and not working out. And they just put them up there as a model. So it was kind of confusing and it confused a lot of people. But then younger people saw it and were like, okay, well, I guess I could just be, overweight then. And then younger people are on type 2 medication and other medications because of it. And it's like, they don't even realize it's because of what they've been advertised. Like what gets pushed in society, what becomes normalized in society is what people try to live up to because naturally we like to fit in. So if people are saying that it's cooler to be overweight or it's okay to be overweight and they're lying to you, then you're gonna be like, well, they said it's cool to be overweight. Most people are doing it, so let me do it too. It's that herd mentality, which is I'm not saying anyone is above the herd mentality. You have to have a significant amount of awareness to be above the herd mentality. Lack of exercise, of course. So physical education has been taken out of some schools, which I thought was a lie. And then I looked it up, and then I saw some news on it. And I was like, "Holy shit!" It's actually being taken out of schools, which is crazy. I don't see any kids playing out outside like I used to when I was a jit. And then like my cousins, my little cousins, they play like video games all the time, or they play like Minecraft or Roblox. They're not outside. Like literally, I spent my entire childhood outside, like just throwing the football, playing basketball. Even though I sucked ass, it was just what we did. We just played outside the entire day. Right? We got out in nature, and I don't remember like I feel like every kid is supposed to have ADHD if you put them inside a house. I feel like all kids should be playing outside because if you put me in like when I was younger, if you put me inside of a house and all of my siblings, me and all my siblings, if you put us inside of a house and you put us under the supervision of like a doctor and we're just sitting in the house and we have all these video games around us, we're going to do some ADHD type behavior. You know what I mean? Because we need to be outside. We need to be running around. We need to be physically exhausted. We need to like, we have too much energy. We're jits, right? We're kids. So I feel like if you put us in, you just stuck us in a building and like put us with like video games or put us in a room with video games, we'd have ADHD. We'd be screaming, running around, and they'd be like, "Wow, they need medication to calm them down." Well, if you let us free, you let us outside. We're doing the same thing, except we're getting exercise at the same time, right? So there's more like childhood obesity now as well, which was very rare back in the day. There would be like there was probably two fat kids in like the K through fifth grade, like two 1% fat kids, I would say. That's it. Like 1% fat kids back then. Like I don't remember seeing any fat kids as legit. Like if someone had a little bit of stomach, it was like it wasn't even that serious. You know what I mean? But now it's like I see little kids all the time. I go to Walmart and Target, and I'm like, that's a big ass little jit, man. So um, it's definitely with the candies and the different foods and lack of exercise is a huge huge factor. Now I know I always say I forgot to say I always say you can't outwork a bad diet, but when I was little, because I was exercising for so long and we were playing pickup games, I forgot about food, right? So I was probably eating at maintenance or in a calorie deficit for that age. But at the same time, like I was probably getting 20,000, 30,000 steps if I were to track it. It was crazy. All right. The holiday mentality, guys. Every holiday is celebrated by binge eating, right? Why on Thanksgiving do people randomly binge eat? Like a lot of people, some of my best transformations actually started during Thanksgiving because I was like, dude, stop using Thanksgiving as an excuse. All right. You do not have to overeat. You're choosing to overeat. Like Thanksgiving is supposed to be about gathering with your family, spending time with family. Spending time with family doesn't mean getting obese together or overeating together or binging together. That doesn't make any sense. And what's the benefit of that? Why are you overeating on these specific days because they tell you to? That's the weirdest shit ever. Why don't you overeat like August 2nd or something or June 1st or some shit like that? You overeat every Thanksgiving because they tell you to consistently. It doesn't make any sense. Right. And then if you have that mentality for the holidays, you also have that mentality for the weekend, like, oh, it's the weekend, you have to relax, you have to enjoy your life. If you have that mentality, like you have to change everything on the weekends and just eat whatever you want to every weekend and every holiday, that's 40% of the year. You're never going to reach your fitness goals ever. All right, never ever going to reach your fitness goals if every single weekend and every holiday, which is literally about at least 30% of the year. I'm pretty sure it's closer to 40% of the year. Like that's literally 40% of the year. If you eat like shit 40% of the year, 40% of the time, you cannot expect to lose weight. It just doesn't make any sense or reach your goals and maintain them. All right. Lack of awareness regarding calorie consumption. So this is really when people are like, I only eat 1,000 calories and I swear I'm like gaining weight. Maybe it's my hormones. No, because by that logic, if you ate zero fucking calories, you would somehow gain weight, right? If you're eating 1,000 calories and gaining weight and you're not the size of Dobby from Harry Potter, then you're definitely not tracking correctly. Because when you actually track your calories, when everybody, I'm talking about everybody, yes, everybody. If you have hypothyroidism, you go to the doctor, they give you Synthroid, right, which is going to replace your thyroid and it's going to help you lose weight. Will your weight loss be slower than other people's? Maybe, but you're still going to lose weight when you're in a calorie deficit, okay? So, back to what I was saying. A lot of people don't realize how much they're eating. They might have a small habit, right? Like this small habit of just, you know what, it's 9 p.m. They just had their dinner. They might eat like it's only a half a cup of ice cream. In reality, it's like 2 cups, right? Because they put it in a bowl. So 2 cups of ice cream at night, right? And then in the morning they have frappuccino, but they think it's caffeine. It's 80 grams of caffeine, can't be more than 50 calories. It's 490 calories. All right. So just with that 2 cups of ice cream and the 490 calories, you're 1,000 calories higher than you thought you were. So if you thought you ate 1,000 calories and you have that frappuccino in the morning and you have the ice cream at night, you're eating 2,100 calories. Right. So you're already way off of what you think you are. And then most of your foods aren't coming from whole foods. They're not coming from protein. So your body composition isn't going to be what you want it to be. So yeah, a lot of people just do not know how much they snack, which is why when you first start tracking calories, that's the best thing about tracking calories is being more aware of how many, calories you are actually consuming. So if you've never counted calories, do not say I'm only eating about this much and I'm not losing weight. You are not. Track your calories and you'll realize, holy shit, I'm eating way more than I think I am. It's just like saving money. How do you know how much you're saving? Like a lot of people be like, I just don't know where my paycheck goes. And they have like these bad habits of going out to eat and drinking every single weekend, which is like $300. And so every weekend they spend $300, so that adds up to 1,200. And then they order something on Amazon every week as well, so that's another 100. So they're spending 1,600 extra that they don't even notice they're spending. And they're saying, yeah, I don't even have, like I can't even have 500 extra or whatever. You know what I mean? That's majority of the problem. All right, and of course you got the panoramic in 2020. Most people became sedentary. Everyone was confused and stressed. And when people are stressed, what do? They usually, you know, go to food. But then also we were all stuck inside, so like the gyms were closed, so we were more inactive. Everyone was watching like Netflix and staying tuned with the news. It was like the first time people would actually watch the news that much. So you're like in tune with the news, and when you watch the news, you're going to be in a negative mentality for sure. And then, like I said, you're stuck inside the house, or you're door dashing, Uber eating, all that stuff, right? And you're just like, oh my god, I don't know what to do. So yeah, it was just a lot of eating like shit. No one wanted to go to the grocery store and put on your mask, which the shit didn't make any sense, bro. It didn't make any sense. You put on your mask, yeah, whatever. Anyways, the shit didn't make any sense, but no one wanted to go through the hassle of the grocery store, so they would just do the Uber Eats and the DoorDash, right? And then they would be working from home and they're just inside all day. So of course, their mood was down, and then they just ate more, snacked more, and then everyone thought it would last like maybe a month, worst case scenario, 3 months. So for the 3 months they're eating that stuff, you can easily gain 20, 25 pounds right there. And then it lasted even longer than 3 months. So a lot of people gained 40 plus pounds during the panoramic. All right. And the recommended foods by society, of course, when you see commercials, it's like, oh my gosh, cereal is a great healthy breakfast. And the cereal commercials always appeal to kids. Like I remember every cereal commercial when I was a kid. I had no besides commercials, I did not give a shit about like Fruit Loops and stuff like that. But when I saw the commercials, I wanted Fruit Loops, I wanted Frosted Flakes because Tony the Tiger was my nigga, or at least I thought. I didn't know he was a cartoon motherfucker. Like when you're young, you don't really know. You just see Tony the Tiger and he's like, oh, he's pretty cool. That's my nigga. Oh shit, look at Tony the Tiger. So I used to always eat Frosted Flakes, and then we used to put the sugar in Frosted Flakes. Now, the only thing that saved us, like I said, was the 20,000 to 30,000 steps. If I ate like in today's world, if I ate, how I ate back in the day when I was legit, and I was a jit now, I was a young kid now, I would probably be fat as hell, right? If I was playing Roblox and eating what I used to eat, all I ate, my diet was Frosted Flakes, Starbucks, and yeah, I just ignored the food my parents gave me, which I would have been better off if I just ate it like rice and beans and stuff. But yeah, I just ate bullshit all the time, right? So yeah, basically society is always saying eggs are bad. They're always saying steak is bad when those are healthy sources of fats. When they say butter is bad too, that's a healthy source of fat. And they tell you just eat a bunch of carbs. Basically, that's basically what they tell you to eat. Eat a bunch of carbs, and then you got all these food labels that say high in protein. But if something has more carbs than protein, it's not high in protein. If something has more sugar than protein, it's not high in protein. Like those Nature Valley protein bars have more sugar than they have protein, so that's not a protein bar. That's a sugar bar, candy bar. All right, so victim mentality. This is one of the strongest, and I mean one of the strongest things that exists these days, and it literally encompasses almost everything. But at the same time, is it really our fault? Our fault because they didn't give out participation trophies when I was a jit, when I was young, and now they're giving out participation trophies all the time and stuff like that. So it's like you're always a winner, and everything bad that happens to you is everyone else's fault. That's what you're being like taught with society, right? And a lot of people think that obesity is 100% genetic. Obviously, there's a predisposition if the people around you are obese. Obviously, you're going to have a predisposition to it, but you can change your habits. You can change your habits. That's why people go from obese to lean, right? If obesity was genetic, then no one would ever be able to go from obese to lean. It just wouldn't be possible. The most challenging part about it is changing that mentality, though, being like, okay, I'm the reason I'm this heavy. My habits are the reason I'm this heavy. So, in order to overcome it, I must change my habits consistently and make a lifestyle change. That's the hardest thing about the whole thing. And at the end of the day, people like discipline and don't take accountability for their eating habits. I've been coaching for a while, and what I see, guys, as we got closer to 2024, like the self accountability and the lack of discipline just got worse and worse and worse. Right? It was just like, oh well, it's not my fault. I don't know why I'm gaining weight. And I'm like, I literally just watched your story. You literally just ate fried chicken, and I screenshotted it, and I literally just sent it to you. So does that not have an effect on your nutrition? And they're like, well, I only did that once, and I was like, well, the day before you had ice cream on your story, and then you showed it being finished. Was that you too? Well, yeah, but I was only 2 meals. And then, you didn't drink your water and you didn't do your workout. You didn't do this. Well, that's only like that counts. That counts. Like you need to take self accountability because that's going to add up, obviously. Like if you're not doing the bare minimum to get to your results, you're not going to get your results. So if you're doing everything right to gain weight, you're going to gain weight. If you're in a calorie surplus and you're lacking exercise, you're going to gain weight because you're successfully in a fat gaining process. Eating in a calorie surplus, mostly sugary food, mostly processed foods, not exercising, that's how you successfully gain weight. So if you don't do the opposite of those, you're not going to successfully lose weight, right? And you could blame fast food. Fast food's pretty bad, right? It's pretty bad. But as of now, we have an option to say no to it. All right. You don't have to go through the fast food line. You don't have to buy it. You don't even have to look at it. You don't have to think about it. You are going into the fast food lines. But look, here's the thing. You're starting the car. You got to realize this. You're thinking of a fast food place. You're starting the car. You're making a U-turn or you're driving to wherever this fast food line is. And you're speaking your order into existence. Then you're paying for it. Then you're chewing on it and you're swallowing it. So you're the one that is making this happen. All right. You're the one that's getting the fast food. You got to take accountability for that because fast food doesn't just fall in your mouth. It just doesn't. Food doesn't just fall in your mouth. And before you use the time excuse, if you are really limited for time, then you should be sticking bones, right? Because you don't have enough time, so you're not eating anything. You should be sticking bones if you don't have enough time to eat, right? You'd be sticking bones. You'd be dying of like starvation if if you didn't have time. If you have time to eat in the calorie surplus, you definitely have time to eat in the calorie deficit. So I'm sick of hearing that shit. Like, oh my god, I don't have time. Like I have to grab this food. If you don't have time, why are you 100 pounds overweight? If you didn't have time, you should be like 50 pounds underweight and being like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to quit my job because I don't have enough time. Like it doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. All right. Shaming eating healthy. This is a very common one. I forgot to put a picture here, by the way, so leave me alone, guys. But anyways, this is a very common one because listen, when I worked at different nursing homes, every single nursing home I went to, I bring my protein bars. I would wear unisex scrubs so I could put protein bars in the pockets. I would eat protein bars, or I bring my own ground turkey, ground beef, and people would always be like, "What the hell are you eating? That's so weird. Hey, look at Luther. Look what he's eating." And they would kind of like do that, or they'd be like, "Why don't you just eat what we're eating?" And they'd be eating some high calorie meal that's gonna make you feel sluggish and shitty, and was high in carbs and fats, of course. Now, even like with the protein bars and stuff, people are always saying, "Oh, it's bad for your kidneys. Don't eat steak. Don't eat butter. Don't eat eggs." When those things are good for you. So shit's messed up, and obesity is gonna go up when people think that eating pizza, drinking Coke, eating M&Ms is normal. And if you offer them that, they'll be like, sure. But you get ridiculed or laughed at or seen as weird, or like, what are you doing? You're trying too hard when you're eating what you're supposed to eat to survive and to be the healthiest version of yourself. So basically, guys, in a nutshell, let's wrap this video up. I don't want this to be too long. So yeah, here's why everyone's getting, heavier set and why society is so unhealthy. Everyone has a victim mentality, so they don't take self accountability. Nobody has nutritional knowledge, and they don't even teach it to us. You kind of have to seek it on your own. And nutritional knowledge in general is like the base of Eastern medicine. Eastern medicine is supplements and nutrition and diet and exercise, which is really preventative for everything. But they don't teach us that, and then they kind of teach us to focus on Western medicine, which is just medication, instant gratification. Lack of exercise by everybody. Everyone's inactive these days. Social norms pushing, unhealthy foods is normal. Sugary foods is normal. Skittles is fun. Weekends, it's okay to overeat. Every holiday, it's okay to overeat. It's literally 40% of your year, guys. And then the body positivity bullshit, which you're supposed to listen. Body positivity is supposed to be like, okay, I'm happy with my body, but I want to be healthier. That's what it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be, I'm going to mukbang my way to 500 pounds. All right? Doesn't make any sense. Anyways, like, comment, subscribe.